Well, howdy, you people of the internet. Today you're going to come to work with Unky Joe. Yeah, because I'm not going to pay you, but you're coming with me. It's another a day in the life of. So today we're going to visit a client of mine, and you've been here before. He's up in the tall tower up in the 8th floor. And we're going to be putting in some new workstations, moving some other workstations around. And then I've sold him, I've told this client he wanted something to store his photos and videos and everything at home. And I said, well, let's just get you another Synology NAS. Since you're running one at your office, let's run one at your home, and you'll have bing, bang, boom, the best of both worlds. So we're going to show you how we get that configured and set up. And then we're going to play with Plex on that and see how it performs on this Synology NAS. So let's get started right now. All right, so I'm at a customer site today, a day in the life. And I'm borrowing this user's 32-inch monitor. Got my laptop set up, my little work area. And let's go down the hall and explain to you what I'm doing. So these folks are, with the, the current situation of the Wu flu, these folks are running out of space, and so we got to joggle some machines around. So here's the server slash storage closet, and there's the rack. You guys recognize that rack. Now right now I already have a Dell Dimension 1700. Now these are engineers, so they're not candidates for virtual machines. So I've got a bunch of Dell Dimension computers that they log into and do their AutoCAD work on. And right now this air conditioner, this little portable air conditioner, is in the way. It was in here for emergency use only, and I'm going to remove that today. And then what we're going to do is we're going to line, I've got two more machines, two more of these Dells to bring in here. Then we're going to line them up like this, where this air conditioner goes right next to the rack, so that these remote users can still have access. So we're going to end up moving one of these machines. Here's the two new Dells I'm going to put in. So we're going to moving this Dell Dimension 1700 to that closet. We're going to end up moving, here's one of their HP plotters. Here is a color laser jet printer and another plotter. And so we're going to end up moving this one as well into that server closet, another Dell Dimension 1700. And then now it looks like they've added this to the list of computers they want moved to the closet. So I'm going to move this, that one, the other one. So we're going to have 3 additions into that closet. Hopefully I'll have enough space to move them. And I'm going to have to put a battery backup in there with them. And then I'm going to be moving one of this machine that I set up a few weeks ago, if you saw another video. This new Dell, it's an XPS. I'm going to be moving that to that other room, and it looks like I may be moving this one. I'm waiting to speak with the owner, and I think he's at church right now because this is Sunday. So I'm waiting to speak with the owner to see if, and this guy looks like his camera's on. Can't tell if it's on or off. Anyway, so we're going to move these machines around today. This is a conference room, and it gets really warm in here. You remember these. I set up these machines here along with that 10 gig or a PoE switch over here on the table. Yeah, right there. So yeah, we'll be moving some stuff around today. So I've made some modifications. I decided, instead of sitting them on the rack or sitting them on the floor here, you see I got the little air conditioner out of here. So I've got room for 2 PCs down here on the floor. I've got power right here. I've got the PoE switch, the Unify 48 port PoE switch. and then I can just run the cables down this rack where they store their paper. And I've got two of the machines here, 27 and 28, and I also managed to bring a UPS in here so they have battery backup in case we have a brownout or whatever. I could, in theory, put one more machine here, because I hate putting these things on the floor because they pick up dust and whatnot, but I think we're just going to set them on the floor for now. So I'm going to go get the other two units, get them moved in here. Now, one of these units I need to do a clean load of the operating system on because they got some problems with it. But I don't know that I'm going to do that today. But let's go get the other two machines, get them put in place. Okay, so we got our new Dell P3630 in place. Got our keyboard and mouse hooked up. Our monitors are both hooked up, and now we're getting ready to go through the setup. So we'll get this unit set up and on the network, and then I can complete the setup later from the comfort of the house. Alright, boys and girls, let's do our final walkthrough. And so we didn't do anything up here to this PC. It's ready to go. Bring you into the server room. So we got two units up here on the rack. Got them connected to a UPS. We got the third unit on the floor here. We got room for another one. I was wrong. I thought they were going to put 4 in here. They're only doing 3. And it's right next to the server rack, so everything just kind of plugs in right here and goes across and feeds down to these units. And these are headless units. They're just they're for their remote users to connect in, use AutoCAD. They've got dual video cards in here, so they can use that for AutoCAD. You know, I don't know if you remember this rack, but from this client. And they've got an old HP server down here. That's what we started out with. That's why I have a dislike for HP servers, because this one crashed on them. They want me to take that away. I'm not sure that I want to. Coming here to the conference room. I did have one little problem. I got this unit set up. This is a new Precision 3630. It's for user wireless keyboard mouse. But they ordered 3 of these APC UPSs. And one of them was not working. No matter what I did, I couldn't get it to work. So fortunately, I only needed 2 today. You can see we've got it labeled, so I know what it is. And there's 2 more of those identical units over here on the conference table. As I can say, as I've said with this client, they have outgrown this building, but with all the stuff that's going on, they just wanted to wait to move. There's the empty boxes, and then here's the other unit here with the dual monitor set up. Another P3630 Dell Precision, nice unit. Wireless keyboard and mouse, some Grand Stream phones, the new ones, the old ones. Come down here. I showed you the plotters and the color laser printer, etc. And in this office, I moved this XPS unit that I set up a few months ago. It's got a new UPS, you see it there. Dual monitor setup, and yeah, everything we need. I need to turn this unit back on. Oh no, it is on. They mistakenly labeled that one to be moved, but turns out it wasn't being. So 3 engineers share this office. These are dual curved monitors. I set those up a few months ago for this customer. So yeah, it's time to go home. Now, one more thing. I convinced the owner. He had an old Buffalo station, disk station, and you know, the thing is old, it's slow. I said, look, you got a Synology NAS at the office, how about getting a new one for your home? So I told him to get the 420 Plus, and I'm going to take this with me and get it all set up, and then we're going to deliver this to his house after I transfer some data. Going to deliver it to his house and hook it up for his home network, and that way he'll have you know, all the bells and whistles that Synology offers. So there you go. So that's it for this. Oh, and he has the dual monitor set up here too, the curved screens. This is the client that's up on the 8th floor of the in San Antonio. That's looking on Loop 410 out there. So yeah, that's it for now. All right, so I'm on my client's NAS. I've got it on the same subnet as my network here at the office. And what I've done is I've gone out and created a shared folder called backups, because what I want to do is I've got data from their iMac backed up onto my network, my Synology NAS, and I want to copy it over here to their Synology NAS. So I just created a folder called backups, and I gave the user ed read write permissions. And so now what I'm going to do is go over on my Synology NAS, and I'm going to come over here to File Station. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount a remote folder. Now, I've already created a folder called Mounts, and I created a subfolder called Backups. The way Synology handles remote mounts of shared folders is a little squirrely because, it's running Linux. So, but I've learned over time this is the best way to do it. So I create a folder called Mounts, then I create a subfolder called Backups. Okay, and you'll see why that comes into play here in a minute. So then I go over to go over to Tools and Mount Remote Folder, and it's a CIFS shared folder. And let me show you here something though. Let me go to the Mount List remote folder, and you'll see I already have a folder mounted. So I'm going to go ahead and unmount that folder, close that so I can show you from scratch. So I'm on my Synology NAS here. I come over here to Tools, Mount Remote Folder, CIFS. So I'm going to enter a double backslash, then the IP address of the NAS I want to connect to. So it's 5.35. And the folder is called Backups. And the user is called Ed, and the password is a super secret password that I created. And then you need to mount it to a local folder. So that's where the Mounts Backups comes in. Now, I'm not going to automatically mount this on startup, because what that'll do is it'll tell the Synology NAS every time you reboot the Synology NAS, try to reconnect that folder. I don't need that, because it's going to be a one-off while I'm using it. So now we might get an error here that it needs to mount to an empty folder. I'm going to click on Mount. No, it didn't. So now what I have is I have that remote folder mounted under my Mounts folder, if that makes any sense. So what I'm going to do is come up here to Applications, because what I have is I have this Backups folder, and then I have Ed's Mac folder here. So this is off of his iMac unit. Now I've already copied documents and downloads, so what I'm going to do next is do his library. Or actually, I'm going to go ahead and do the downloads. So I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go copy or move to, and I'm going to do copy to, and then I'm going to come down here to the Mounts, and then to the Backups folder. And I'm going to click on OK. Now I've told it to skip any files that already exist, so what will happen now is it'll come up and it'll start giving me an ETA on the size of the files to be copied, and you see it already did it because there was nothing to overwrite. So let's right click and go to Library and do a copy to, and let's go to that Mounts, and let's go to Backups and tell it OK. And you notice I've chosen to skip any files that already exist. I don't know how big this directory is. So it's not very large at all, 292 meg. So it tells you the speed at which it's copying here, right here, and how long your estimated time is going to be. And bing, bang, boom, the data is coming over. So let's switch over to his NAS, go into File Station, and then you'll see here's the Backups folder, and here's all of his files coming over here. Right. So what I could have done is just created I could have mapped a drive letter to his NAS, which is right behind me, and a drive letter on my NAS, and then used Total Commander and moved them across the network like that. But then my computer would have had to have been an intermediary between the two NASs. And I find it's easier just to allow the NAS to copy to the other NAS without having a Windows machine in the middle of all this stuff. It just makes for easier file transfer. And, all the tools are built into Synology, so why not use them, right? Now, when I picked up this unit, the customer had 3 2 terabyte Western Digital red hard drives in there. And, well, actually, they had 4, but he could only find 3 of the hard drives that came out of his Buffalo Terra station. So I told him to go ahead and buy another drive, which is what he did. And he prefers Western Digital. I'm a Seagate guy, but hey, whatever floats your boat. So basically, you just lay it in this tray. There's a couple of side rails that come off and snap into place on these Synology NAS units. And then bing, bang, boom, you secure it in the tray. Put your little snappy side rails in, like I'm demonstrating here. Boy, that is a horrible shot on the camera. I gotta fire my cameraman. Anyway, sorry about that camera view, but you know, you get what you don't pay for. So there I go. I'm snapping it into place. They were a little snug to get in there. The drive's in there a little snug. It's in there snugly now. So now it's just a matter of sliding it into the Synology unit and then powering the unit back on. And there you go. Like magic. So now that I've physically added the hard drive, we need to add it to the array. So it's a fairly trivial task. We just come over here to Storage Manager, come down to Volume, and under Action, let's see, actually under Storage Pool and then Action. So yeah, I was wrong. Come to Storage Pool, Action, and then Add a Drive. And now you'll see it sees drive number 4 in there, the one that we just put in. Click on Next. It's warning us all data on this drive will be erased. Not on the existing array, but on this drive. So we're going to go ahead and tell it OK. And then we're going to click on Apply. And that'll give us, it'll go from 4 terabyte to about 5.5 terabyte of free space available to use. Now, this is going to take some time because it has to do a parity check. And let me see. Yes, I see the lights flickering on the DS420 Plus. Now, after we get done creating this, adding this hard drive, I'm going to copy some data to it, and we're going to install Plex on this unit, and we're going to see how well it runs with Plex, including turning on subtitles on videos. So we'll see if this thing is suited to being a Plex server. Alright, so I've got a video playing in Plex to my Roku 3 back there on my bench TV, and it's playing Aquaman. I'm going to flip over here to my left monitor. So this is Plex for Roku player. It's direct playing H.264 1080p, direct playing AAC stereo. And just so you know, I have this file. I ran this file through Handbrake a long time ago. So let's go look for Aquaman. So right here you can see it's only a 6 gigabyte file, and if I right click and go to media info, you'll see it's been run through Handbrake, and it's been, you know, compressed and put into a Handbrake into a format that Plex can handle. Handbrake 1.2 blah 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 2.20. So it's up and running, right? You see it's playing just fine. Now, if I go to another file, I'm going to go play another file. So let me bring that up here for you. Go into media. The next file I'm going to play is, we're going to play, where is it? Jurassic Park. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And you can see this is quite a much bigger file. It's 28 gigabyte file. So all I did was I ripped that in its native format on the Blu-ray right to the machine. So it's running at 24 megabit per second stream, level 4.1, etc. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to play that file now, and I'm going to let you see the difference. Alright, so there's the Aquaman. Let me flip over here to my webcam, give you a better view. So I'm going to go to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I'm going to show you what happens. Now, I've got 2 versions of this file. I've got I got the original, which is 29 megabytes per second, 1080p, H.264. And then I ran it through the Plex optimizer on the Synology DS420. And I'm going to show you what happens when I play the original. Now, mind you, I don't have any subtitles loaded or enabled. They are on the video. You see what happens? It looks like a mosaic. Okay? And you can see the lights on the 420 just thrashing over there. Now let me bring you over to the left monitor here. And you can see it is running 1080p. It's having to transcode in hardware, and it's having to transcode the audio and the video, the AAC, because it's in Dolby DTS 7.1. That's with no subtitles on. That's with a single video streaming from the DS420. And yeah, not a good thing. Now, so my thought was, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. So my thought was, let's put it through the optimizer on Plex. And just let Plex optimize it for TV. 2.5 megabits per second, 1080p, H.264. Let's go ahead and play that. If you watch the NAS screen come up, it shows it's direct streaming. The only thing it has to transcode now is the audio. And you can see we have the same problem. That's not good, folks. Now, I use the same video audio library for all of my Plex servers. I keep the library over on my DS918 Plus. And then my main Plex machine is that Ryzen 5 3600 on the bench behind me, or on the desk behind me. So this is the kind of video I get. Now, it's not the Roku causing the problem either. Okay, so there you go. You see how we get that herky-jerky video, right? Everybody can see that. Let me flip back over to the webcam. Alright, so there we go. We get the herky-jerky video. Looks like a mosaic. Now, if I go all the way back out and I come back to my Megaplex server, go to my Action Adventure and go to that same video, Jurassic World Lost Kingdom. Alright, so you can see this is a 1080p. Let me switch my, I'm going to go ahead and start playing it. Fair use. Fair use. I'm going to get past the title here. That's usually how they identify you. Okay, Jurassic World. Let me go ahead and switch over to my Megaplex dashboard here. You can see it's playing beautifully. No pausing, no stuttering, no mosaic. If I come over here to my left monitor and my webcam, you can see it is playing at 1080p, transcoding it. It's also transcoding the audio. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another quirk to it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the subtitles. Come on, turn the subtitles on. You'll see it restarts the stream. This time it'll show you it has subtitles. Now once the thing disappears off the screen, you'll be able to see the subtitles. Come back here. Here we go. Let me go fast forward through that. I'm able to fast forward and rewind, etc. Let you see the picture quality here. And there's the subtitles. No trouble whatsoever. So, the DS420 Plus, not what I would call a Plex powerhouse. So, yeah, there you go. There's Plex on the DS420 Plus. Not impressed. Yeah. And you know, that's been my experience with Synology NASs. They just, I don't think they're very well suited to run Plex on. Well, not in the way I do my videos. Now, keep in mind, most people rip their videos and put them through Handbrake and then put them on their NAS and then run them through Plex. I guess. They must be. I rip them natively. If it's a DVD, I rip it into MPEG-2. If it's a Blu-ray, I rip it into the native MPEG MP4 format just do a clean rip, because the hard drive space is cheap. The problem is that, as you saw, the 420 Plus will not even stream a high-def video without having that blockiness onto my Roku device. But I can do it on my main rig here, which is a AMD Ryzen 5 3600 CPU and that gigabyte NVIDIA card, the GTX 1650 card, and it runs fine. So it is a problem with Plex, and then you add, on top of that, you add subtitles, and it's not usable. So it'll do what the client needs it to do otherwise. They're not going to be running Plex on it anyway, but I just thought that was interesting that I could not get Plex to run on that with a high-def video. And it's got to be, I would think it's got to be something that I'm doing wrong, but I don't have time to research that any further, so we're going to let it go. So there you go. We hope you found the video entertaining and informative. As always, give us a thumbs up down below. Leave your comments down in the comments section. Donate if you're so inclined. We take PayPal, Patreon, and the YouTube join button. We also mirror all of our content over on Odyssey and Library, so if you want, you can catch us over there as well. Thanks again for coming to see us, and please don't forget, we'll see you on the other sides.